Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today's video is on Peeves Baked Beans. I hope you like them. And make sure, like and subscribe. Okay, so now, Peeves Baked Beans. The ingredients that I use are obviously beans, but they are Thompson's white pea beans. I use 2 pounds, so each bag is a pound. And then the beans, I actually soak them overnight, and I change the water a couple of times. Side pork that I grilled yesterday on the Big Green Egg. You'll need some chicken broth, maple syrup, because I make these very sweet. And then I'm going to use Blues Hog sweet and savory barbecue rub. I'm going to layer it in. Now you dice up all the side pork, and you can use bacon too. It doesn't really matter, side pork or bacon. And I put a little bit of rub on here. A little background on where this recipe came from. My mom used to prepare the beans, and my dad used to bake them in the sand out at our trailer park. So every year, I guess it was the August long weekend, they would have a potluck. And they would cook all day Saturday, and then there'd be the big reveal because everybody wanted my mom and dad's sand baked beans. And one year, Dad had a fire, so he built the fire Friday night and dug out the fire pit and put the beans in and covered them up, and then kept the fire going all night and all day. And Saturday afternoon, he went to dig up the beans, and they were not there. It turns out that he had quite a few drinks the night before when he was building the fire, and he dug the hole 10 feet away from the actual fire. So the beans were stone cold. So that's where Peeves beans came in. So what I do is I kind of do a little bit of a layer here. I'll put the beans in. I always use a slotted spoon because there's still a little bit of water in there. And then I'll just put some side pork on top of it. I'll put a little bit of chicken broth in first. Kind of coat the bottom. Over the day when I'm cooking them, I usually cook around 300, and I cook them all day. The beans will bake in that maple syrup and the chicken broth, and really gets a lot of flavor. Now I usually do 2 pounds of beans. I end up giving my mom and dad some because obviously this is kind of their recipe, but they're in their 80s and they don't do the sand baked beans anymore. And that's something I've never done. I've never done sand baked beans before that I'd like to try sometime. More broth. And this is an enamel coated cast iron pan. You can just use a regular cast iron pan. And these can be done in the oven, can be done on a barbecue, like a propane barbecue. You can do it in a pellet grill. Doesn't necessarily have to be on a Big Green Egg. And then I'll just add the rest of the side pork. Now, when you're using maple syrup, make sure you have to use maple syrup. You can't use manufactured syrup. You have to use actual maple syrup, and the lighter syrup, the better. If you use a dark syrup, it'll end up burning over time, and your beans will be, because the sugar, I guess, it burns. So I do these low and slow. No hurry to cook them. Put them on early in the morning and just let them do their thing. And I'll check them periodically throughout the cook. And if I have to add more chicken broth, I will. And then I'll put it on the egg. So really, this is my mom's recipe. She's such a wonderful woman. She's been patient, taught me how to cook at a very young age. I always helped her in the kitchen. That's where my love from cooking came from, is really from my mom. And here she is.
Hey everyone, I'm here with
The girl who actually got me all started in cooking, my mom, Doreen. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, everybody.
She's given me all the inspiration to cook, and she taught me at a really young age how to cook, and you know what? I love her for it. Say bye, Mom.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we got the temp is about 275. I let it go 275, 300. It'll take 3-4 hours. I'll check in and show the progress periodically. We'll put the beans on. You'll notice that I have tin foil. I just put the tin foil on, and there's no real reason for it other than if there's any spillage, I can just take off the tin foil and get rid of it. Some people don't use it. They can just, everything just gathers on the place setter and then they just burn it off later. But I'm kind of a clean freak and I like to have it nice and neat. So, okay, we'll check back in a bit. We have the big green egg set at 350 and the beans have been on for approximately 3 hours now. Let's take a look inside. And look at that. Those beans are starting to simmer along nicely. Probably stay on for another couple hours before they're ready. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. So these have been on since 10 at about 300. And it's the broth is starting to evaporate. So I'm going to put a little bit more maple syrup in. And they're still pretty firm, so I'll put some more broth in as well. Actually, I'll add some more of the sweet and savory spice as well. And I think now I'm going to turn the temperature up. Let's say about probably 375 now. Take a look at these beans. They've been on for 4 hours now, and they're looking fantastic. Not quite done yet. We'll come back in about an hour or so and check on them. I can't stress this enough that when you're chilling and grilling, you have to stay hydrated. Cheers. You got it. Okay. The beans are ready. Look at that. Nice. Perfect.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Hope everybody has a great night. I hope you enjoyed the video on Peeves Baked Beans. Stay tuned for more great recipes.